Hey everyone, and welcome to Tea or Sugar. Here, we love to dive into all sorts of things, like mindset stories, history and legends, business lessons, and psychological insights. Today, we've got a fantastic story for you, a kind of modern parable that asks that classic question. What really wins in a showdown? Raw, overwhelming power, or a sharp, clever mind? Let's break it down. So let me introduce you to our hero, Cha-Cha Cowdery. Now, he's not your typical superhero. There's no cape, no super strength, none of that. His power is all up here in his mind. They say his brain is so fast that if you have a problem today, Cha-Cha probably already solved it for you yesterday. And right here, this is the heart of our story. You've got these two totally opposing forces. On one side, there's Cha-Cha, who represents intellect and calm. And on the other, you have Raa the Destroyer, the literal embodiment of pure anger and power. This really sets the stage for the ultimate showdown of mind over muscle.
Okay, so picture this. It's a perfectly normal, beautiful day. And our guy Cha-Cha is just doing his thing, calmly enjoying a cup of tea. It's one of those perfect, quiet moments that feels like it could go on forever. But that piece is about to get completely shattered.
And just like that, boom, the piece is gone. A massive explosion just shakes the ground, birds scatter, and worst of all, it spills Cha-Cha's perfectly good tea. You can tell right away this conflict doesn't knock on the door, it kicks it clean off the hinges. And here he is, our antagonist, making his intentions crystal clear. This is Raa the Destroyer, and he is not here to talk things out. His goal is simple, and it is destructive. He wants total domination.
And let me tell you, Raa doesn't just sound angry, he's like a walking force of nature. His eyes are glowing red, like a pair of traffic lights that are just permanently stuck on stop. It's a pretty clear warning that all normalcy and safety has just ended.
He immediately starts putting that power on display. Raa doesn't just make threats, he acts on them. Buildings, the very symbols of civilization and order, they just start crumbling under his incredible strength. The chaos just keeps escalating. Cars are getting tossed around like they're little toys, showing everyone that the normal rules of society and even physics just don't apply anymore. This is a terrifying display of overwhelming power. And it's not just the visual chaos, it's a total assault on your senses. His roar is described as this painful, distorted, overwhelming noise, almost like a broken speaker blasting at full volume. He isn't just destroying the city, he's shattering its peace. Now, in the middle of all this destruction and fear, just look at the contrast here. Raa's response to everything is just attack, pure aggression. Meanwhile, Cha-Cha, he just smiles. And it's not a nervous smile or a smile of surrender. It's a calm, knowing smile. He's seeing something that everyone else is missing. And then he does the most unexpected thing you could possibly imagine. He doesn't fight back, he doesn't run. He just asks a simple question. Have you eaten breakfast? I mean, it's completely disarming. Raa was prepared for a fight, but he definitely wasn't prepared for genuine concern. This is Cha-Cha's first move. Analyze. Don't just attack.
This brings us to the real puzzle of the story, right? How do you possibly win against an opponent who can overpower you physically in every single way? What do you do when brute force is not even an option?
Well, Cha-Cha has a clear, three-step strategy for this. First, stay calm, because panic is the enemy of reason. Second, analyze your opponent. Try to understand their motivations, not just their actions. And third, and this is the key, target the mind, not the body. Find that psychological weakness. So, with his strategy all figured out, he puts his plan into action. And it doesn't involve a weapon or a call for backup. It starts with a simple, quiet move. He presses a small button on his watch. The anticipation is just building here. What could he possibly be planning? And in an instant, whoosh, the entire scene changes. There's this sudden, surprising deployment of something. It's not an attack. It's something way, way more clever. Something Raa could never have seen coming. The genius of the plan is revealed. Giant mirrors suddenly pop up everywhere surrounding Raa. So, for the very first time, he's forced to confront his own rage, reflected back at him from every single angle. His external fight has just become an internal one.
As Raka just stares, confused at his own furious reflection, Cha-Cha delivers the profound lesson at the very heart of this story. He tells him, your biggest enemy is your own anger. The source of all his destructive power is also the source of his greatest weakness.
And in that moment of forced self-reflection, the rage just starts to fade away. And something else comes out: vulnerability. Raka whispers the real reason for his whole rampage. It wasn't about power or destruction. It was about loneliness, about feeling invisible. He just wanted to be heard.
What Cha-Cha showed us here is basically a masterclass in what we call emotional intelligence. He didn't just see a monster, he saw the emotion that was driving the monster. He was aware of Raka's emotions, he controlled his own, and he handled the situation with empathy, not aggression.
And the result? The entire conflict just de-escalates completely. Once he felt understood, Raka was no longer a threat. He just walks away peacefully. The storm of his anger finally passed, leaving a clear sky behind it.
And so our story comes full circle. The city is safe, the people are cheering, and Cha-Cha, well, he goes back to his chair and finishes his tea. And in a final, charming little detail, it's still warm. Order was restored, not through a punch, but through perspective.
And this leaves all of us with a really powerful question to think about. In any conflict, maybe take a moment to ask yourself, are you fighting the person in front of you? Or are you actually fighting their underlying anger, their fear, or their pain? What is the real enemy? Thanks so much for watching. If you want more stories like this, be sure to keep with my channel Tier Sugar for more videos and subscribe if you want. And feel free to share. We'll see you next time.